Welcome to the Mainsail Financial Group Podcast series, where we host industry experts and local professionals to share some of their guidance and tips into the areas that we don't get to focus on day to day. To start out our new season, we're trying something a little different, as you can tell. And we're out here at Queen Anne Coffee Company with Kelly Hanson. Kelly, you want to share why we're here, what this place means to you?
Yeah, so I actually live in the area, so I have very much frequented this joint. But I'm obsessed with coffee, who isn't in Seattle. And so you're in my neighborhood, you're in my hood. Welcome.
Awesome. Yeah, I hear you live just down the road here.
I do.
It's a great place. So yeah, we're really excited to try this out this season, and really excited to have you on.
Thank you.
What we wanted to focus on today, after what you had just shared with me, is kind of your career path, like what you've been able to accomplish, and maybe some tips for other people and how they can maybe use some of the things you've done so well to build up their careers.
Well, that is so nice. Thank you for having me. I feel like you have imposter syndrome still. At least I do, when people are like, give me advice or anything like that. It still just doesn't really seem like I should be the one doing that. But I'm very humbled, and thank you for having me. So yes, let me know. You shoot me the questions. I'll do the best I can.
Well, maybe let's back up. So right now, for those who don't know, Kelly is the host of Local Lens Seattle, correct?
Yes.
King5 show. And you've been doing that since like 2013?
Yes. Yeah, a few years now. And I've been at King5 for 8 years and doing this exact position for, I think, about 4 years now. Okay,
perfect. And before that, can you talk about like how you got to this? Because I think it was a pretty quick path, right?
Oh, it doesn't feel quick, but thank you. So I went to the University of Montana in Missoula. Go Grizz. I gotta give them a shout out. Just kind of wanted to get into broadcast journalism. I think that's a great place to go because it's really hands-on. It's a small market. I actually got my first job right out of school in Missoula as a small town reporter at KPAX. My friends there used to, get into the little family room and watch me and call me KPAX Kelly there, which was great. Had a lot of hard-hitting news stories there, but really amazing to shoot your own stuff, learn how to edit, produce. It was just very hands-on. So I think that really set me up to be able to do a little of everything, which I think has really helped me in my career. From there, I actually got a job in San Diego, lived there for almost 4 years at KUSI. Beautiful place to live, but really always had my heart set on moving back home. I really wanted to get back to Seattle to be with my family, friends, and King5 was just the place that I've grown up watching. I mean, Joyce Taylor, Mark Wright, Gene Anderson, Dennis Bounds. I mean, truly, I would sit in my living room growing up and watch these people and just hope that someday I could, work and get a yellow jacket. That was like the big goal. And so now it's pretty cool to, walk into my apartment, see my yellow jacket hanging there, and 8 years later, still be working at a company that I truly love, going to work every single day. And so a couple years ago, I pitched the idea for Local Lens Seattle. I missed being on camera, shooting my own stuff, editing. I feel like at the heart of what I do, I'm a storyteller. I love meeting people, interviewing them like you're doing with me. That's so fun. And really showcasing the city that I love. The tagline is the guide to the city you love. And I think that kind of sums it up. I'm the Yelp review, if you will. Like I go out and experience fun things in the city and then get to share that with my viewers. So I've been doing that for a few years, and, I watched the Amanda Show. I don't know if that really dates me, but on Nickelodeon, Amanda Bynes. But I was like, that was the dream. Like, to have your own show just seems so cool. So I'm very hard on myself and critical that I'm not where I think I should be yet. But then when I really take a second, I'm like, you know what? I think 12-year-old Kelly would be pretty proud of where she got today. So
I feel like from the people I've talked to, like that is a very common trait, like being harsh on yourself, but also celebrating along the way too. So can you tell me, like, to get to this point, how did that relationship work? And like, what did you do to keep pushing yourself to the next level?
Definitely. I think I have a little bit of a chip on my shoulder. In San Diego, I didn't necessarily have the look I was told to be on camera. And news directors over the years and other people telling you, you should just hang it up. You are not cut out for this industry. You don't have the look, you don't have the voice, you don't have the talent. It's hard and harsh criticism to hear. And I think you can either at a young age take that and, go home and cry like I did and then, give up on the dream. Or you can take a second and say, I'm going to prove them wrong. I think I knew from a young age, this is what I want to do. And I think you have one life to live. So why not go after the dream? And I wanted to be able to say I gave it 100% and didn't get there. Mm-hmm. So kind of blocking out that noise is always the advice I give people, which is easier said than done. I love quotes. I'm a big motivational quote person. Mondays are like my motivational Monday. So seeing kind of those things inspire me. So I try and share those too with others. I have a fast 4 on my Instagram that I try and do weekly too. And it just pushes me to push past the noise, continue towards your dream. And I think if you have the heart and the passion, that will get you really far.
Do you use those quotes like in any way daily or something like that? Like, do you have like a visual type of thing?
I really should. No, it's really just, I would say if I'm scrolling on Instagram or Pinterest or wherever I am and I see something that speaks to me, I save that. And I love writing. I've always enjoyed writing. So I kind of look through some journals that I've written to and see little things that I've written and then kind of use that. And that's how I develop fast 4s and kind of my own words, and some that I see from other people. And then, if I'm kind of going through a day, I feel like I'll look back on some of those posts and that pushes me. And I think too, if you just look at like, Lord, if I look at the reels that I did in Missoula, where it's like, you think, oh, this is good. And you're wondering why King 5 said, no, back in 2009, you realize how far you've come, and it's, you do get pretty proud of yourself that, you know what, hey, I am getting better, and that does look better, that does sound better. And so I think practice makes perfect for sure.
And obviously with your goals from like, even as a kid, the yellow jacket were pulling you. Do you think that especially in San Diego, you can't do this, like this isn't, you don't have the talent, all that. Did that push you a little bit as well? Or did you just kind of tune that out completely?
I wish I would have tuned that out. I was in my early 20s then, and it was very, very difficult to tune that out. I definitely think I went home and cried and thought, what am I doing? This industry too doesn't pay extremely well. I think that's a misconception. People always ask like, oh, who does your makeup? Or, wow, you must be just doing this or that. And it's like, no, I don't have a photographer. Like, I am a photographer. I'm a one-woman show. And so I think to your point, hearing that, I wasn't able at a younger age to really block that out. I think now that is my advice. I try and give some mentees mine, but I know it's easier said than done. So I think I just really had to rely on the support of my parents. They have always just been so supportive and kind of always saw me where, I am now and beyond, that I could do anything. And I think having people in your corner that support you allows you to listen to that and maybe take the criticism as constructive, and be able to push on that. So I was always one track mind. I mean, even though people were telling me it wasn't going to happen, I really visualized myself in that yellow jacket someday. And it's pretty cool. I mean, I keep it really clean. I'm still really excited about it. I nerd out with it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Well, and speaking of accomplishments, so the other thing which you shared with me just a minute ago is that there's 2. You've now been nominated and received 2 Emmy Awards, right?
Yes, I have.
Not just the yellow jacket at this point.
Yes, it was a pretty cool couple years. I have been nominated a few times, but never won until 2020. And now consecutively I've won 2 years in a row for the Emmys. And then this year I also got ProMax Gold, which is a national marketing award. Because my job is a little different. It's kind of interesting. I wear a lot of hats. I'm a production manager is my title at King 5. So I do a lot of editing and bigger shoots for clients in the area. So I won for 2 marketing campaigns for our Stand for Truth campaign there. And then I also am obviously the host of Local Lens Seattle. So every day is different. Today I was out on a local lens shoot all day, but tomorrow I could be, putting on my marketing hat and talking with clients on how to get their brand out there. So, maybe one day Local Lens will be so big I can only do that. Let's hope. But for right now, it's pretty fun to never really know what you're going to do every day.
Yeah, that's great. Well, and let's go down that path. So of what's next. So you've accomplished a lot. So are you still pushing, or do you feel like, you've gotten to a spot where you can enjoy?
Yeah, that's a hard question because I want to be able to sit back and appreciate how far you've come. I think, I don't want to speak for everyone, but I feel like my friends and I have talked about that a lot, where you don't really get to just sit and enjoy and look around and enjoy the ride. I think back to how stressed I was in San Diego, and I was living in a beautiful place. I wish I would have just embraced and enjoyed the ride to get to where you are. And so I want to do that with myself some days, that if you feel like you're not where you want to be, I think maybe take a second and think to my earlier point, 12-year-old Kelly, would she be proud? And, you can't help but smile and be like, she would be pretty damn proud of where, I'm at. But with that said, I am a perfectionist to a fault. I never think that I'm where I should be. We were just talking about how I'm trying to look for a place. I haven't bought anything. You're just your biggest critic of where you think you should be in your 30s for myself. But where next? I love King 5. I would retire there. I really do enjoy it. But I think if I was really being honest, probably the dream is to be on the desk as an anchor. I think that's always been kind of where my sights have been at. And I have some really amazing mentors at King 5 that have been really wonderful to still help me kind of pave the way to that path. And so who knows where I'll be in 5 years. But I'd be just as happy sticking with the gig I have right now.
Sure. That's great. And I think similar to what we were talking about earlier, I feel like a lot of successful people have that too, where it's this enjoyment, but also there's no this may sound negative, but no satisfaction. It's always okay, how do I find the next thing or keep growing, basically?
Totally.
That's the case. So
yeah, you want to challenge yourself and grow. To your point, I think it's easy to just kind of be relaxed and comfortable. And I think I'm just not the type of person that can just be comfortable. I always have to have different goals and motivation, where each year you kind of want to top the previous year, and what did you do that year, and look at yourself with that. And I think in the pandemic, a lot of people switch jobs and switch gigs, and they should find that passion, because life's so short. I'm lucky that from a young age I knew this is what I wanted to do, and I've continued to be able to pursue and grow within the company. But I think that's really important to always be, educating yourself and learning new things constantly.
Yep. I think that's probably a big driver of what's gotten you to where you are today. So.
Well, thank you. Very kind.
Of course. I think maybe that's a good place to start wrapping up. But is there anything that you want to share as far as any other tips maybe or things to consider as people are looking to grow their careers?
Yeah, I guess if someone's interested in getting in the broadcast industry in general, I think, just learn every single position and skill that you can in broadcast journalism. I didn't just focus on my voice and, on-air presence. I really focused on editing and learning that aspect and shooting. And so, if there's always going to be dips and jobs and things like that, but I feel like I'm kind of a utility player where you can put me in a lot of different positions to excel at. And so my advice would be, learn as many different positions as you can within the career and skill set that you want to get into. And I do tell, younger people in high school and stuff that probably think I'm so boring when I come to talk to them. Sorry. But I tell them to start a YouTube channel if that's what you want to do, and get out and, just practice. Feel like having a reel to be able to show accompany how you are, that really, it's almost like a visual resume of yourself. So I think starting a YouTube channel and seeing how you speak and interact with people is a really good skill set as well. And yeah, just don't be so hard on yourself, and enjoy the ride.
Yeah, that's great. I think that's probably good for any career path, any field, you name it. So that's really good. I appreciate your time today. I think this was really helpful, and hopefully our audience will get something out of it.
I hope so.
And thank you guys as always for joining us. If you have any questions for us, you can email us info@mainsailfg.com.
Bye.